All right, it has not been a good few weeks for Donald Trump, and yesterday he had an absolute tantrum when meeting with Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi as well as other leaders, and it has devolved to such a point that concerns about Donald Trump's mental health, which I've been raising for more than a year, are becoming front and center because the behavior is so on the fringes. Trump yesterday met with House leadership because Congress passed a bipartisan rebuke of Donald Trump's decision to pull troops from northern Syria. So Trump brings Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi to the White House. Some of his generals are there, other advisors. And after the meeting, it starts to become clear that something really odd went down. Chuck Schumer saying that Trump turned the meeting into a diatribe that included just attacking Nancy Pelosi personally, that many in the room say was completely insulting. So it was clear something weird happened. And then this picture was released from the meeting in which Donald Trump's side of the table looks visibly pained as Nancy Pelosi is standing and pointing and appearing to lecture Donald Trump the way you might lecture an 8-year-old that just isn't behaving. And Trump has this indignant look on his face. But as usual, Trump put the picture out to make Nancy Pelosi seem unhinged. This is the pattern. Trump puts out the truncated version of the Ukraine phone call thinking it vindicates him and it's incriminating. Trump puts out the letter he wrote to President Erdogan thinking it makes him look strong and it makes him look like an absolute lunatic. And here Donald Trump puts out this picture thinking it makes him look good. But when you look at or Pelosi unhinged, but when you look at the picture, if you look at the other people in the room, it is abundantly clear that Trump is the one behaving oddly here, once again, like the petulant child. And if you look at a closer shot of the advisors that are sitting to Donald Trump's right, they have that pained, unfortunate grimace on their faces, looking down at the table in embarrassment as Nancy Pelosi scolds Trump as if he's a little kid. And of course, he often acts like one. So then hours go by. It becomes clear that Donald Trump appears to have cracked during this meeting. And Nancy Pelosi actually says now, I'm concerned about Trump's health. The implication, of course, being mental health, because this was a serious meltdown.
What's really sad about it is I pray for the president all the time, and I tell him that. I pray for his safety and that of his family. I think now we have to pray for his health, because this was a very serious meltdown on the part of the president.
The behavior is erratic, childish, and it's dangerous all at once, simultaneously. And then, of course, after the meeting, Donald Trump making no sense, totally dissociating from the reality of the situation, talking about how they're dealing with a region that has lots of sand.
Syria may have some help with Russia, and that's fine. It's a lot of sand. They've got a lot of sand over there, so there's a lot of sand that they can play with.
Listen, the mental health red alert. If not now, when? I mean, seriously, if this is not enough for us to say, and I don't mean us like just the people on the left who have been following Trump's deterioration, I mean the American public. If this is not enough for us to say, something is wrong with this man. Now, this doesn't excuse his lack of morality and ethics. This doesn't excuse his terrible, misguided, ignorant political views. But on top of it, there is obviously something going on either cognitively and or with substance abuse here, that he cannot put together a sensible take on anything. He cannot speak reasonably to anyone, whether it's the Turkish president in that unhinged letter that he wrote, or to Nancy Pelosi at the White House. And then in the background, every single one of these missteps and bizarre things that Trump does is not merely entertainment and casual concern. This is a national security risk, and we are seeing that immediately within hours after his decision to pull troops from northern Syria. Something has to be done. The quickest path may still be removal by voting him out in November of 2020. But are we ready to have the adult conversation that even Republicans need to concede that something is very wrong at a fundamental level? I don't know. I don't know that they're ready to make that acknowledgement. Make sure you're following me on Instagram at david.pakman. And while you're there, follow the show on Instagram at David Pakman Show. Quick break, right back after this.